Welcome to Sunday Club in the Stable. I'm Paul, and this is Hannah.
Hi friends, missing you. I hope you're staying safe.
Hi friends, hope you're staying safe.
Hi friend, good to see you. So, Samuel.
What's he up to today?
Well, today he's involved in God's plans.
Isn't he always?
Yeah, actually he is. But I think the thing that impresses me the most with Samuel is he could quite easily have got in a big grump with God's people after last week's story, when they seemed to think that he was too old to lead them, and they seem to have forgotten again the God who they claimed to follow and what that God was really like. This incredible God of love who wanted to lead them and to show them his way of life.
Yep, God's people were not satisfied again. So what happened today, Hannah?
Well, let's get my cereal box theatre to help us.
Ooh, the boys and girls could make their own at home and retell our stories, couldn't they?
They definitely could. Once there was a man called Kish, and he had a very handsome son called Saul. One day, Kish's donkeys went missing. The donkeys would have been so important to Kish. Animals were worth a lot of money.
Did you know, Hannah? Sometimes animals were used like money in the Bible because they didn't have money like we have.
It's another good fact there, Paul. Thank you. So, Saul and one of the servants decided to go and look for these donkeys. They searched high and low, and they went from mountains to towns to lakes and all over the place looking for these donkeys. When they'd been looking for quite a long time, the servant had an idea.
Let's go and look for this wise bloke I've heard about, said the servant. He hears from God and everything.
Oh, well, I guess let's do that, said Saul. So off they went to the town to look for this man of God. And of course, the man of God was
Samuel!
Meanwhile, that morning, our friend Samuel had had a message from God. So Sam knew today he was going to meet a bloke who was quite handsome. God had told him that he would be looking for donkeys. I want you to tell this bloke, Samuel, I want you to tell him that his dad has found the donkeys and that he's to have a chat with you before he goes home to his dad. So Samuel was strolling around the town. Samuel was there to help the people with their God type stuff. When along came Saul and his servant. Samuel invites Saul and the servant to dinner. It was a big dinner that Samuel was holding in the town. Samuel chatted with Saul and his servant at the meal, and he told them that his dad had found the donkeys that he was looking for. Now, the next day, before Saul headed back to his dad's house, Samuel said,
Hey, Saul, can I have a chat before you go?
"Yeah, sure," replied Saul.
I've got a message from God for you.
Samuel was incredible at listening to God and acting on what God said.
Hey, Hannah, what happened when Samuel gave Saul God's message?
Oh, Paul, I'm afraid you'll have to wait for next week for that.
What, next week?
Yep, next week. Samuel was always ready for action, and that's an amazing example. One that Jesus did too. He was ready to go for God, come to earth, show God's love in living and dying and coming back to life. Right, imagine it like this. You're at a race at the starting line. Get ready, get set, go. Imagine if people doing the race weren't ready. If they hadn't practiced, weren't listening for the starting noise, what would happen?
Well, the racer would probably miss the race, or start late, or not get very far.
That's right. If we think about following God being like a race, Samuel was brilliant. He was a brilliant example of being ready for action. And we have to think, if we're following God, are we ready for action? If God asked us to do something, would we be ready to do it? Whether that's something challenging, like giving someone a tricky message from God, or just doing what He asks us to do every day.
To be like Jesus.
Yeah. And showing God's love in everything we do.
Are you ready for action?
If you're not already a friend of Jesus and you want to be, all you need to do is ask Him. And if you choose to follow Jesus, it's a really good idea to tell someone, maybe a friend or a grown-up that you know who follows Jesus. Thank you for joining Paul and I today for Sunday Club in the Stable. And you've got it. If you've liked what you've seen, give us a thumbs up in the bar below. And why not subscribe so that you can be updated when we post new videos. But for now, it's bye.
Bye.
From us and a polar bear high five.